morning, ladies and gents, and welcome back to the Small Brain Pilot channel for another video. Today you guys join me in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, as we're parked at Terminal C at KLIA with the beautiful Airbus A321neo. As you can see, it's rocking the Sri Lankan livery, which, as it implies, as usual, means we're headed down to Sri Lanka for a quick flight. Well, not really a quick flight, it's a 3-hour hop down to Sri Lanka, but it's going to be a beautiful flight into the island nation nonetheless. So without further ado, I'm gonna stop yapping and let's get started with the walk around. Good morning, ladies and gents, and here we are in the cockpit of the beautiful Airbus A321neo. It's very similar to the rest of the Airbus A320 family, so we should not have any problems getting it started up. As you can see, cold and dark like a true man. So I'm gonna get the aircraft started up, get our flight plan configured in the FMC, and I'll catch you guys once we're ready for APU startup. Alright, ladies and gents, we have the aircraft now configured up. All the flight plan is loaded into the FMC. Boarding and fueling has been completed. As you can see, we're taking about 12,000 kilograms of fuel down to Sri Lanka today. Our departure runway is going to be off of 32 right. We're going to do the Pyogo 2 Delta departure. Our arrival into Sri Lanka will be into ILS runway 04 via the Sego 2 Alpha arrival. We're going to have a pretty straightforward arrival. Shouldn't be too much. Should be a pretty sunny day throughout the flight. With regards to that, I think we are ready for APU startup, and before that, let's just look at the cruising altitude today, 36,000 feet. Regardless, without further ado, let's get the APU started up and get ourselves pushed back. To start off the APU, as I've mentioned before many times on the Airbus, pretty simple, just plug in the master switch, hit the start, and then we observe the APU page. Once the flap open sign comes and we have 100, it should be good to go, 100% N1, and APU will be available to us. Once we have the APU avail text here on the ECAM, we can come up here and turn on the APU bleed. With that being said, we can disconnect the external power. With the external power being disconnected, we can disconnect the jetway and get ourselves pushed back out of our stand. Alright gents, we've pushed back here out of the gate. So with that being said, our APU is on. We are ready for engine start. So to start the engines, pretty simple process. Come up here, verify that the beacon lights have been turned on, which I've just done that. Come down here, switch the engine selector to start, and turn on the engine, master switch. And the engine should be coming on now.
You can follow along with the information card if you use the back pocket. Seatbelt and your seatbelt insert the line.
Alright, once engine number 2 is available to us, we can repeat the same process for engine number 1. Just come down here, click on the switch. And while we wait for our engines to slow, we can also take this time to set the flaps. So we're having flaps 1 for departure today. Once the flaps are set and both engines are spooling up, we can turn on the taxi lights, which is turning on the nose lights, and the runway turn-off lights. And with that being said, we're ready for taxi down to runway 32 right. So I'll see you guys once we're lined up and ready for departure out of KLIA. Alright, ladies and gents, welcome back to the cockpit. As you can see, there was no taxi. I forgot to press record for taxi. There was such beautiful views while taxiing though. I think it would have been one of my best taxis yet, but unfortunately, oopsies happen. Anyways, as you can see, I'll just show you guys the traffic off. There was an Emirates A380, there's a Singapore A350 there's a Liner 777, China Southern A320, and also an All Nippon Airways 787 with some cargo aircraft over there. It's okay, it happens, it's unfortunate, but regardless, we're here on the runway, we're ready for takeoff. So without further ado, let's get ourselves over to Colombo. Disconnect the parking brake. Set throttles to 50. Engine's coming up nicely. Everything good. Continue takeoff. Toga. Toga set. Airspeed is live. 80 knots. 100 knots. V1. Okay. Positive rate of climb. Gear up. Alright, ladies and gents, that's us out of... Ladies and gentlemen, 1,000 feet from the threshold here at Colombo. That means it's time for me to fly this aircraft manually. Autopilot has been disconnected. I'm just going to coast this aircraft into Colombo here. Alright, I'm going to kind of be sterile cockpit as I really want to get butter. If it's been a 3.5 hour flight roughly, it would be really disappointing to mess it up now. Again, I'm going to try and focus on the biggest areas, which are center line and honestly floating. I've also had trouble with floating. If you would have seen my last video with 777, I kind of floated that. So I kind of want to address both those issues together and hopefully have a smooth landing. So, sorry for the
400.
So far we're looking smooth on the glide. I'm visual. This now. Flight director is visually coming in. Alright, here we go.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 5.
And butter. It does not get better than that. Decel. And the aircraft is slowing down. Oh, Oh, what a sigh of relief. 3.5 hours of flying for that. Beautiful. Aircraft decelling nicely. Reversers are in. Disconnect the auto brake. Alright lads, I'm gonna get the aircraft taxied over to the gate and I'll see you guys once we're ready. The engine shut down once again. What a beautiful landing in Colombo, in a beautiful place. Alright ladies and gents, we've made it here to the gate Bravo 10 at Colombo. With that being said, we can come up here. APU is available to us. We can turn on the APU bleed. We can turn off the beacon lights, turn off the runway, turn off lights, turn off the internal lights, turn off the taxi lights, come down here and turn off both engines. And as our engines cool down, we can come up here and we can connect all the ground services to the aircraft. So ladies and gentlemen, as the ground services kick into action, this is where we conclude our flight for the day. It was a block time of 3 hours, 50-minute flight, all the way from Kuala Lumpur, KLI here, down to Colombo at VCBI, I don't know, Bandar Nakhia International. Anyways, this was a fun flight, even nicer landing. It's always a good flight when it's butter. Thank you ladies and gentlemen for watching today's video on the Small Brain Pilot channel. As always, if you have any suggestions, any ideas, leave them below in the comments. And I'll catch you guys next time. Happy flying!